Shalom, we are the ICPK coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York, in the Commander Junior Honor. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians separate. It's time for us to separate. And like the brother was just saying, they don't care anything about us, and they showed us that for 400 years. And we're never supposed to trust them. You know, here's the thing. Us as slaves, we've been pre-programmed to trust white people. We've been pre-programmed. We got it from our families, our great-grandmothers, you know, from the white Jesus on the wall and all of that. You know, when you was acting bad when you was a kid, you see that white Jesus on the wall and you straightened up. We thought that was something righteous and something spiritual. No, it's not nothing righteous, it's carnal. You know, the pink oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to understand, it's our time to start gathering ourselves together, like the scriptures say. Matter of fact, give me Ecclesiastes 10 and 12. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we the best people on the earth. We're better at everything. And just like what the captain was just saying, imagine with people following us right now, imagine if we on the top. One thing we got to stop doing, though, we got to stop trusting other races. Our trust is always misplaced. You know, black people, we can't even have a good business because black people don't trust us. You see what I'm saying? Black people, it just seems like it's second nature for us not to trust each other. But in reality, it should be the other way around. We shouldn't be trusting anybody but each other. That's the way it really should be right there. Go ahead, give me that scripture. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God.
That's what's done happened to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians here. We done departed from God and started pride. That's the reason why we do a lot of the things that we do. That's one of the reasons why we selling drugs. And one of the reasons why we murdering one another. You know, because read that again.
The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God.
So now we know how pride begins, and we know what the Bible says about pride. So what we got to do is we got to start to nip that thing in the bud. It's time for us to get educated, real education. I'm not talking about that garbage that you go to college and get. It's good, yeah, it's good to go to college, get a degree. It's good to do all of that. Learn a skill, you know, learn this and that, you know, to make a living for yourself. Go into business, things like that. But don't look at that as the whole of the matter when it comes to education and knowledge. This is the real knowledge that we have to be getting, is the knowledge of this Bible. Everything is in here. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you want to learn math? Hell, there's a book of numbers in there. I mean, hell, you know, any damn thing in that Bible, you can get it out of there. There's science all inside that Bible. So where should our first stream of education be from? It should be right from this Bible. But see, we too busy caught up in trusting our enemies. That's one of the reasons why we keep failing at everything. Go ahead.
And his heart is turned away from his maker.
First back, is that in the Apocrypha right there? Okay, try 12 and 10. Did I tell you 10 and 12? Okay, try 12 and 10. This is a specific scripture I'm trying to get to. Give me a second. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, this is our time to rise up. Give me. It's 12 and 10. Paraphrasing is let me keep speaking. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we should start trusting, you know, they trust the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You see what we just did down in Texas, with Mexico, with those brothers that came from Haiti, the brothers and sisters, was what, 10,000 of them? Who else stepped up to the plate? You want to see if somebody's righteous or not? Look at their works. How did people know Christ was Christ? How did anybody? Through his works, the things that he did. You see what I'm saying? He just wasn't talk. He was about that action. He was about that life. And that's one of the reasons why powerful men followed him. You see what I'm saying? Commander Junior Honor, he's about that life. Really, genuinely. That's why we follow him. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Never trust thy enemy. That was it. Never trust thy enemy. We're never supposed to. Who are our enemy? Think about it. Let me tell you, let me give you a clue. All the unatoned bloodshed, the justice that we never get, who's the one that afflicts the punishments on us that we never get justice for? Anybody? The white man. That's who. So that tells you that's what enemy is. Enemy is somebody that is an adversary against you. He's against your cause. He's against your purpose. He says a Planned Parenthood so you can destroy your children. That is an enemy. That's an enemy right there. And you can't look at your individual friendships and be like, see, no, see, they ain't our enemy. Look, me and him cool. Yeah, really. Well, ask him this question if you believe that. Ask him if, since we served them for 400 years, shouldn't they serve us for the next 400?
Right.
It would be only fair, right? It's just like on a job. I work first shift, somebody else come work the second shift. We didn't work first shift. So now it's time for them to come work second shift. What will they say? They will say no. They would rather us serve them for another 400 years. You see what I'm saying? Now you start to understand what an enemy is.
Right.
You see, that's an enemy right there. Read that again.
Never trust thy enemy.
And it says never trust him. Never trust him. The Chinese, the Koreans, all of them, what do? They sit there and eat us like lunch. Sit there in our neighborhoods and get all the businesses, and sit there and make all of that money off of us and go back and empower their own countries. Do you think that 60 years ago, you think like Thailand and all that looked like what it looked like today? All the nations are eating off of us. That's how they get all of that.
Right.
Go ahead.
For as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
So as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Go ahead.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Now, what do they do in these cities? They do exactly that. Read that part again.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Oh, you ever seen a Jewish man walk through big cities? You ever see him? He's literally crouching down like this. Like in his mind, he's carnal. He think that he's being humble. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, he's a vicious and bloody snake.
Right.
Vicious. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Means we will see straight through his BS. And how do you get to see straight through his BS? By being inside the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge.
Right.
Then you'll be able to, you won't be deceived and fooled into thinking that, oh, well, he or she is different. You won't be fooled into thinking that. You got snakes out there, but they all different kinds, right? But what do they all have in common? They all still snakes. You see what I'm saying? That's what they have in common right there. All white people are the same. They're the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Set him not by thee.
And this is an evil practice of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We set up a damn some restaurant or something. First thing we want to do is we hire him and put him next to us. All right? We sit there, we look at him like he has all the knowledge, of whatever the hell is going on. We'll sit there and make him a manager. Next thing you know, he done overthrew you and then took over your damn store. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now he done moved his own in there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even an employee in your own place anymore. You know what I'm saying? You out of there. They play to win. Read that part again.
Set him not by thee.
It says, set him not by thee. He ain't supposed to be next to you in anything. They don't put you next to them. You don't go inside the Arab gas station and everything, and all of a sudden you assistant manager. No. When's the last time y'all seen that? You never see that. And even when they put the black woman in there, she's in there to be a concubine. A cash register concubine is what she's in there to be.
Right.
Go ahead.
Least when he have overthrown thee.
Hey, what it say? What did it say? If?
Least when he have overthrown thee.
Least what?
When he have overthrown thee.
It didn't say if he overthrow thee. It says when. Remember the scripture when it said thy enemy that is within thy gates shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Read that part again.
Least when he have overthrown thee.
When he has overthrown thee. This is inevitable right here. Go ahead.
Least when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
He stand up in thy place. Now he's the owner of your spot. He owns it now. You let him in your house as a friend. Next thing you know, he done subverted your whole damn house. You know what I'm saying? Your wife, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, he being somewhere knocking off your wife. Go ahead.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand. Don't make him your second in command. Because he's going to overthrow you, and you won't go down to being second in command. You'll be booted the hell out. And he'll take one of his own race and make them his right-hand man. You see what I'm saying? Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we get played like this all the time. And it's every race that does this to us. Right? Who would they say the first black millionaire was? The Madam C. Walker? Yeah, Madam C.J. Walker. Now, just think about this for a second. Who inherited her wealth? Where'd it go? Where's the Walker family? And, set up somewhere in politics or something like that. Ain't no Walker family no damn where. She done got subverted. They done took everything from her. Go ahead.
Lest he seek to take thy seat.
Lest he seek to take thy seat. That's what he's in it for. They play to win. A lot of times, blacks and Hispanics, we just be playing to play. Go ahead.
And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith.
Means you're going to be cut based on what he told you in the past 10 years ago. Now you cut. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Who will pity a charmer that's bitten with a serpent? The white man is a serpent. So who should pity you when you befriend him?
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? You befriended him knowing he's a snake. And then he turned around and bit you. And then you asked him, why did he bite you? He's a snake.
Right.
He did what he's supposed to do, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Who will pity a charmer who was bitten by a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
Really though, see that, when you put serpents in your path, you're gonna get bit. Bottom line. Cling with your own people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now, let me get Micah 3:3. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, it's time for us to really, really get educated and to separate and to learn how to do that through the ISUPK.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The book of Micah, chapter 3, verse 3. Who also eat the flesh of my people.
Think about this for a second. Now, look at all of these people that's being chopped up and their organs being transported.
Right.
Look at this is happening to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Taking out our organs and filling us up with newspaper and stuff like that. This is something huge that is going on right now. Who's talking about it? Is the Christian pastor talking about it?
Right.
He's not talking about this at all. He don't give a damn. You know why? Because hell, he in on it too. He in on the damn organ and transporting. He's getting paid for that. What the Christian church don't talk about is what they get paid not to talk about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They pay them not to say certain things.
That's right.
They pay them, to not talk about what's going on, not unless it's blaming black men for something. That's the only time it's okay for them to say something. But when they're talking about what the white man is doing, they won't say a damn thing. And that's why they're paid. They get paid to do that. Go ahead.
Who also eateth the flesh of my people and flayed their skin from off them.
And flay their skin from off of them. Think about what was they doing to us a couple of 100 years ago. Flaying the skin off of us and making purses, boots, jackets. This is what they was doing to the Most High's people right here. This is why the Lord is going to destroy them without mercy. Y'all, we thinking the Lord don't care about the stuff that's going on. No, he cares. And he just seething in anger and just can't wait to just smoke the white man and all of his Confederates. And bring them down to the point to where they're nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High says for us to, vengeance is his, because we'll show too much mercy. You know what I'm saying? If we was to take the kingdom right now and rule America right now, we'd give it right back to him. They'd have it back next year. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High said we got to go by his judgment, what he wants done, because his is perfect. Go ahead.
And they break their bones and chop them in pieces. As for the pop.
Look at that. What does that sound like? Don't that sound like the organ trafficking? Breaking them down to popping out their eyeballs, popping out their heart, liver, kidneys, anything that they can sell. And who are they putting it in? Them old Jewish men. That's who's getting them organs. They living to be 120 damn years old off some 18-year-old black boy's heart. You see what I'm saying? With that being said, we are the ISUPK coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York.